Oh, happy Monday, colleagues. Tori, oh, look at that. Looky. Look, I got to get closer to the screen to see this dog. Who is this?
Let me, oh my God. Okay, hold on. Everything's going really well.
Even the dog knew you needed to have your microphone.
I know. Okay, hold on. Stay there. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is
Hello.
Brew. This is Brew, like coffee brew or beer, a brew or of a beer.
Okay, we got the concept.
And he is 6 months old.
Really? He looks like he is he should be on a porch somewhere.
I know. He looks like an older man, like an old salted man, but he's just got flecks of white all over him. But he's six months old, and he was found on the streets of Cleveland, Texas, where a lot of strays are. And now he's going to find a perfect home and family. So if any of you are out in Denver and are looking for a perfect family dog, he's amazing, doesn't make a sound, loves kids, loves dogs, loves cats, loves everybody, sleeps with you. Mwah. He's wonderful. If anybody's looking for a dog, please let us know. It is from Up, Pup, and Away. So that's
Tori,
the organization.
I usually have a lot of jokes. I am in love with that dog. Oh my God. Oh my God.
He's a good boy.
Dog is such a cutie.
He's a really good boy.
Yeah. All right. What a way to start the week. Brew is chilling, and Brew's the kind of dog that my dog Layla is like. Layla does not bark. I kind of like non-barkers, no shade.
I don't love barkers either.
Barking is a lot. I think just the way my brain works, if I'm thinking about something and like the dog starts barking at the microwave or something, then it throws me off. I'm like, why is he doing that? And then I'm like, I just like a nice, chill, quiet dog. That like, Brew's my kind of guy.
Yeah, you would actually get along really well with Brew. He doesn't do anything wrong. He just sleeps, chills, goes on walks. And when he's done with his walk, he'll pull back and be like, I'm finished now. And you can't get him. You just have to walk home. He's like, I'm done. So it's over. So
yeah, they're definitely like Layla never would walk.
That's how Brew is.
It feels like for like most of my life, I was like sold the illusion that people go and they walk their dog. I never see people actually walking their dog. I see people standing there smoking their cig while a dog sniffs some stuff. I see a dog twirling around them in circles trying to get the leash. I rarely see just people walking the dog like you see in every movie.
Well, this one, sniffing can be really good. It's like their social media. So you have to let the dog sniff. That's the information they get for their gossip for the day. But Brew is absolutely housebroken, Kathy. If you're interested, just DM me, whatever it is. But he's wonderful.
And again, Kathy, same rules apply to every man that sees her on the internet. Just slide in those DMs if you're interested.
Anybody slide on in. But also he was really emaciated, like really bad. And so his hips, you can see his little hips like right here. You can still see them, but they're coming in now. We're trying to. But if you guys know of anybody looking for a dog, please let us know. And Michael Dean is off today, you guys, but it is his birthday. So I will let him know that you guys all say happy birthday to Michael Dean. I put stuff up on our Instagram of us going out for his night. And if you guys want to go to Friends from Work show, or is it Friends from Work?
Yes.
Friends from Work show.
Friends from Work show. Yes.
Okay.
Glad you nailed that in at literally episode 124. Not even hyperbolic.
Daytime talk after dark. So I was trying to figure it out. So, you can see us and our going out outfits, and we all look cute.
Yes, we had a good time. Me, you, and Sar went out. We saw a former DBL producer and forever friend, our girl Karen, was battling the Big C for a while. But guess what? Karen kicked your ass, Big C. How you like them apples? She looked fantastic, and it's great to see somebody that you saw when they were really sick. And you were really worried. And the reason I noticed her is you and I were talking, and I was like, who's that tall blonde woman playing ping pong like they were life and death stakes? And it was Karen, and my heart just lit up. I was so happy to see her and her man Andrew. So shout out.
Huge
I also
shout
went
out.
out. Huge shout out. I also went out and I don't know why I can't get the picture to come up, but went out and saw my boy Bill Bellamy at the Denver Improv this weekend. We had a fantastic time just catching up. We haven't seen each other in probably 10 or 12 years. And I've said it before on the show, Bill Bellamy was my big brother when I had nothing. He took me on the road and showed me how to be a pro. And just like there is no Al without Bill. So shout
There's no
out. Tori, I'm going to say something. I want to share this with the colleagues because it really inspired me. We all go about our day and we have our projects, and some are projects that we just love to do, some are for work. But Bill was getting ready to go on stage, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go sit in the crowd and watch you. And just before he did, he was like, man, I'm so excited, man. They're not ready for it. I'm about to kill it. And just Bill's been doing it 25 years.
I know.
And reminded me of the way open micers are like, just like they can't wait to get out there. And that enthusiasm just inspired me so much. So whatever project you're going to do today, don't do it half-ass. Get after it. Yes.
Do it
So
the Bill Bellamy way.
do it the Bill Bellamy way. Had a busy weekend, Tor. I wanted to share this with you. After I saw you and Michael Dean on, was that Friday? Saw Bill Bellamy. No, I saw you Saturday, saw Bill Friday. I had a show in Steamboat, Colorado yesterday.
How was it?
It was great. I did the show with Trey Crowder, super funny comedian. And, we stayed at the Holiday Inn Express in Steamboat, brand new one, really nice. And so when I was checking in, it was like a really nice hotel. And I was like, so how are things going, here? He's like, oh, we're brand new. Everything's running smoothly except for the breakfast. And I was like, that was me and Sar. We didn't even say it. We were just like, that face, like, what? We're talking about breakfast at, whatever, 5 o'clock. And so we didn't even talk about it. We didn't think about it. We get up this morning, Tori. Head on down to breakfast, the free breakfast that you get when you go downstairs. And you could just tell, I could tell when I walked in there that there was like tension because all these skiers were ready for their breakfast. And Tori, this is what we were looking at.
Oh, empty?
Empty, yo.
Oh my gosh.
Tori.
What happened?
Sarah said that she overheard somebody say that Carlos didn't come in today. So this is a real story. And so people were just grabbing what they could get. There was no oatmeal. So, old man Al is like throwing the microphone down at that point. And so this is all I could get for me and Sarah's breakfast. Sarah just has ketchup. So people were complaining at the front desk. And, I don't know what's because those things run like clockwork. They just keep bringing eggs out and stuff like that.
I wonder what happened, Carlos.
I don't know. But Carlos wasn't responsible for every dish. Who is he? Gordon Ramsay? Bring the oatmeal out. You dump boiling hot water and then you walk away and never think about it again. It's not like these difficult recipes. I worked hotel breakfast as my first job at Embassy Suites. This is not like some kind of crazy. So
I feel like something terrible happened to Carlos.
Now, Tori, I'm fascinated. I'm just like, what led to and clearly it had already been a problem because they're telling people they didn't ask about it.
That's so bad.
So all right. That was our weekend. Lots of craziness going on with us. And also with the world. Tori, what do you want? You want to start with the Oscars? You want to do that?
Yeah, let's start with the Oscars. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All right. And we get to.
Did you watch?
No, I was performing. But,
that's right. That's right.
Yes, but caught the recap and know what went down. So let's have a chit chat. Tori,
you like that sound? Go ahead.
All right, Brew is digging it, so I'm in. Tori, we're talking Oscars. I am assuming you did watch?
Yeah, I signed up for something called YouTube TV that everyone already has.
What do you mean something called YouTube? It's YouTube TV. It's not like I signed up for this thing called Showtime.
No, I'm joking.
They show movies.
I don't know what else I'm gonna like if I want it, but I signed up and I watched on my computer. And I thought it was good. I liked it. I thought it was fine. It was fine. I
Okay,
watched
well,
a lot of the movies this year, so I at least knew a lot of them.
okay, well, let's run down for anybody that did not see it. One Battle After Another won Best Picture and finished with 6 Oscars. Shout out.
And by the way, I agree with that. I think it should have won number one.
All right. Michael B. Jordan finally got his first Oscar for Sinners. Yay. Shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I know him from The Wire and Drumline, and just to see his whole career progress to this is just like unbelievable. And what a great career, scandal free, which does count because it's very easy to get tangled up in some stuff. So what a career he's had. Tori, what did you think about Conan hosting?
I liked it. I usually like Conan a little bit more. I thought there were some technical difficulties, but I thought he was fine. I always like Conan. I thought his line about, did you hear about the famous line that he used?
Against Timothy?
He said, for the first time in, I think, like so long, no British actor or actress is up for Best Actor or Actress. And when asked about that, the British people said, hey, at least we arrest our pedophiles.
Oh, that's great. Oh, wow.
It was a great line that went really far. And I know his writer, who's a punch-up writer. I used to do stand-up with her in Los Angeles at the Comedy Store, amongst others, is Laurie Kilmartin.
Yeah, I know Laurie.
Yeah, everybody knows Laurie. She's a great writer, great stand-up. And Conan was on Colbert talking about how Laurie really helps punch up his jokes. But that one kind of hit really hard. I do have to agree with Julia. The In Memoriam was like, just overwhelming, because you were like, oh my God, and Val Kilmer died, and oh my God, Diane Keaton died, and Robert Duvall and Catherine O'Hara, and Rob Reiner. It was just like this really, really very beautifully done In Memoriam. And for Robert Redford, Barbara Streisand came out and sang a part of The Way We Were.
I saw that.
And I just, Jane Fonda is apparently really pissed because she did 4 movies with Robert Redford, and she's like, Barbara's only done 1, so that's very Jane Fonda. But and I loved the first woman cinematographer. I thought that was really exciting. And
is she the one that asked all the women in the audience to stand up? Because you helped me get here. Was that her?
I don't know if that was Frances McDormand from a long time ago, or if that was she. I didn't see the whole thing, but I just thought the movies were good this year. They were really, really good.
They were really good.
Yeah. And I was really happy to have seen a lot of them. I really want to see Hamnet. Has anyone seen Hamnet on the colleagues? Have you seen Hamnet? I really love Jessie Buckley.
I felt like it was her.
Yeah. It's okay, Brew. He fell down. Okay. Yeah, they did not add Malcolm Jamal Warner or did not add James Van Der Beek to the In Memoriam. So there's always people that you're like,
yeah,
maybe you should have thought twice or gone over that list. But it was Unique Gemini saying it was she that had everyone stand up. But I just thought they were great movies. Paul Thomas Anderson finally won his Oscars, and I was really happy for him. Maya Rudolph is his wife. The Bridesmaid reunion I thought was funny. So all in all, it's pretty good.
Sean Penn won Best Supporting Actor. Showed it.
Always. And you hear Kieran Culkin being like, Sean Penn cannot be here or doesn't want to be here, so I'll be accepting his behalf.
Yeah, Sean Penn has always been remember, like, people don't talk about it. Remember when, like, Sean Penn was like in the middle of like third wheeling like a interview / hookup between El Chapo and that Mexican actress?
Yeah, he was handling our foreign policy affairs.
Yeah, it was very strange. Very strange.
Yeah. What's his name? Dennis Rodman was handling our North Korea situation for a while.
I'll tell you this. I might take old Dennis right now because we don't have any beef with North Korea. I mean, say what you want. Kim Jong likes his basketball players. What a strange world we used to live in, and now it's just like scary.
It's very scary.
It just used to be kind of like silly, weird stuff, and now it's just like, oh, I don't think any of these people are stable. So yeah. I don't know. All right. Well, Tori, by the way, was there anything that you thought was snubbed? Did you think like should have gotten more attention?
I did. There were a couple. I agree with Christina right here. The bridesmaids thing went on like really, really long, and it was okay. It was funny. I thought it was funny, but they did cut off a lot of people in a way that was like not great. Like someone was talking and the mic just like went down. And the guy who won Best Song, which is the K-pop Demon Hunters song Golden, like he was jumping up and down, like waving to try and stop the lights. And like he had something very important to say.
Right.
And they did not let him speak. So, it would have been nice to allow them to have their moment, but they really cut that off pretty quickly. I thought it was interesting. They had Misty Copeland on, the ballet dancer, of course, right in the middle of Sinners during the song and dance part. And Timothée Chalamet the camera angle went to Timothée Chalamet because he doesn't like ballet or opera. He looked terrible, by the way. Yeah. He looked like Kevin from the Backstreet Boys. He looked ridiculously stupid.
Did you think it was one too many Chalamet jokes last night? Because I heard just like a montage of them.
Look, he was stupid and he stepped in it, and he's supposed to be someone from the arts, and he made fun of two huge parts of the arts. And I just think you got to take your comeuppance, if that's the word.
I think it is. My only quibble with that is we live in a world of platitudes like speak your truth, girl, speak your truth, man. But when people do, you're not obligated to like ballet or opera. Is it a strange comment? Absolutely. Is it probably not a smart comment? Absolutely. But when we ask people to speak honestly in interviews and they do, and they get killed, we're then just kind of setting ourselves up for a lifetime of just like, it was a pleasure working with Tori. She's an absolute phenomenon. And
I agree.
I kind of like when somebody's like, I ain't like that. I'm like,
no,
okay.
No, Al, I agree with you. If he had said, I don't like the ballet, I don't like opera, that's one thing. But he was like, nobody goes to the ballet and nobody likes the opera.
That's
and you're
like, no. I tried to get your back, bro. It didn't work. It's yeah. And you so don't want to be.
The New York Times Magazine was like, how Timothy lost the Oscar. Like now it's its own thing. Like he stepped in it terribly. And for some reason on that one day, that news cycle, it just got more and more viral.
Right.
And it just wouldn't go. It just hasn't gone away. So, and he's French, and he should appreciate the ballet and opera. I mean, he's an artist, and it was just, I think Nathan Lane said it best when he was like, I don't remember, but it was just like how privileged and how unnecessary it was to do that. But yeah. And we're all talking about the weather here. Just so you guys know, it's like 74 here, and it was snowing last night really bad. So we're all over the place. We are all over the place.
Yeah, we were driving to Colorado Springs during that time. And I say I mean Colorado Springs, Steamboat, Colorado. The weather was really, really bad, especially when we first left. And it's just like, I think at first I'm jealous because I look over and SAR is in a coma that, is ready for any outpatient surgery. And it coming and going. So it's just she'll turn on her podcast. That's like something I wouldn't normally listen to. She's out cold, but now I can tell you everything about Love is Blind. I listened to 2 full 40-minute interviews because it was on her phone, so I couldn't stop it. So I was like, I guess I'm going to get into it. So so we made it back.
I heard it's bad. I heard it's not good this season.
The Love is Blind? I think we're starting to it's kind of starting to mirror what women are complaining about in society. I'm not in the dating world, so I can't say who's right and who's wrong, but a lot of my homegirls, you included, have just said that there's a lack of eligible men. And the people I know personally, this might sound like a dig, but it's actually really, you don't have these weird, super high standards. Like I need him to be, if it's not 6 figures, don't come. It's nothing like that. Like y'all are just like, I just want a normal dude. And I feel like the women on the show, one woman was a doctor and the guy that she was paired up with goes, I just not feeling you. The girls I usually date are like ballet dancers and do Pilates all day, and you're just not it. And everybody was like, they went to her crib like she is a doctor. And I'm like, what are you doing, dog? What are you? The other chick was like a Latina chick. She was very pretty, and like her dude like wouldn't touch her. It was just this weird. There's a lot of weirdness going on with men. I guess I can say young men because I'm not one anymore. And I'm just saying that that's what I've heard from a number of my close female friends whose opinions have been vetted, and just, they all kind of say the same thing, even though they don't know each other. They're saying there's a weirdness going on with men, and we see that with the incel stuff and the looks maxing. Have you seen all this? Did I show you that, like, the new guy that all the kids are following? He's like a looks maxer. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what a looks maxer is.
Oh, colleagues, let me tell y'all. You would know if you were anywhere between probably 13 and 28. But looks maxers are like these guys that, remember, like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when women were doing like those contour videos on YouTube, like trying to get the chiseled jawline and stuff.
Yeah.
That's what dudes are doing now, only he's hitting his face with a small hammer to create microfractures to make, his name is clavicular. Yeah, I gotta look up Tori. He is one of the biggest people on TikTok or Instagram, if not the biggest. This is, colleagues, this isn't like some weird internet influencer. Like, this guy's famous, and it's so weird because the generation of men that are like, women, why are y'all voting, and get in the kitchen. This dude is very feminine looking. Like, he's doing videos where he's showing men how to apply makeup. But this generation of men look at him as the most masculine man. And what his platform is, why waste your time trying to sleep with a beautiful woman? Because when it's over, you've wasted your time. That resonates with this generation, Tori.
So sex is wasting your time?
Anything, it's hard to explain. Colleagues, they hate women. I cannot put it any other way. They hate. If you look at Nick Fuentes, who is a right-wing Nazi representative who is huge. He's the guy that Kanye West was palling around with. He also, when he was confronted years ago on a podcast by a woman, has admitted that he's never had an interaction with a woman. It's a weird thing where it's not that they're,
I think they can't get women. Maybe that's it.
I don't, Tori, it's deeper than that. They hate them. It's weird. It's so weird. And so, like, I was gonna ask Sarah to, oh, here he is. Okay, give me 1 second. Because you guys need to see, this is like what is considered the height of masculinity, at least for men. This generation of men. It's just something that I never thought I'd see. Yeah, I don't even know how we got on that, but it's if you ask any young man in your life, they know who this guy is. And Tori, we can keep talking while it comes up, but yeah, it's we're in a weird place. And let me see if I can get this. Okay, let me pull this up. Today, Al.
Yeah, people are talking about the K-pop thing. I think it's the first pop group to win Best Song. I know that 3 6 Mafia was the first rap group to win an Oscar. I know this guy. Jim Dugan. Yeah. Thank God for women love. Jim, amen, man. Amen. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, shout out to Jim. Jim, I didn't even think that needed to be said. I love the ladies my whole life. And it's just like so weird that there are this many guys that like follow this guy.
It sounds like someone who can't handle rejection, who was rejected earlier in their life, and now their whole thing is I hate women because they rejected me once, and I have a wound. I have a wound, and I'm hurt.
And so basically, what looks maxing is, because I'm all into the vocab, is if I stood next to him, like his followers would be like, "Oh, clavicular totally looks maxed Al. Like he's more attractive than me." So you don't stand next to anybody that can outlooks max you. Or it's also called mogging. So if you and Sar both dressed up for homecoming and your dress wasn't expensive, they'd be like, Sar was totally mogging Tori's dress. Did you see it?
Wow, that's such an
Like
annoying.
it's about dominating
Yeah.
appearance wise the person next to you. It's so weird, Tori.
Well, it's just, to be honest with you, in social media, what they found from little girls and little boys too is that the comparison is what's really causing such mental health. And all this is more and more comparison. Like this person is better looking, or that person is. It's all like a feed. Like which person is better looking than that. Women,
and you're talking about the starting of the incel movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Girls only want good-looking guys, and that's why we can't get in. Some of those men have left those chat rooms and committed mass assaults on people.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, apparently in DC, where I'm from, the Republicans, the MAGA Trumpers, they can't get laid by anybody, because once they find out you're MAGA, women are like, bye. Like, they're getting no action. So much so the New York Times wrote the Washington Post wrote a whole article about it. It's really sad.
Do you think that's where part of the anger comes from?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
It's just hard to get that mad when you're in your refractory phase, and it's just like when you just made love to somebody, it's hard to be like, the Jews. It's like, it's just hard to like yell. You gotta we just need more people having a pleasant lunch with somebody they find attractive and like to spend time with. It's just like they're so mad all the time. I'm like,
they're taking our jobs.
I'm like, who? You're like, dude, you're in Cincinnati. Yeah, it's just very. We are in a strange time.
They're really angry. They're angry.
Yeah. Well, speaking of angry, let's get into this because things have been going on this weekend with your country, Tori. Tori, I don't want to, shock you with this news, but apparently things in Iran, especially as it pertains to the Strait of Hormuz, they're going great.
They're going great?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Tell me everything.
I mean, just it's a healthy combination of not planning,
right?
Not studying history.
Right.
Not listening to your Pentagon that's been interacting with and studying this country from afar, and I'm sure inside with spies. You take all that information and you punt it. You just kick it away. And you listen to Lindsey Graham. I don't need it. You say, Lindsey Graham, come on over here. Yeah, stop swiping and come on over. And Lindsey says, you know what? I think you need to just go on over to Iran and show them what your name is. And the Pentagon is like, well, we don't. And he's like, shut up. And we went over there, and Tori's not going great. To the point where our once it's still formidable Navy has been shown to be a little bit of a paper tiger there, sis, because now Trump is trying to pressure our allies and being like, oh, y'all ain't gonna come? Nope. Oh, for real? UK.
NATO said no.
Yeah. I mean, well, if you think about the last year, the disrespect to the UK troops that Trump, when he said that they didn't send anybody to Iraq, the open disrespect. Yeah, the open disrespect that's been going on at the G7 summits, the UN, snubbing the UN. You take it on back to Trump 1.0 with Helsinki and how he just said, yeah, I think Putin is telling the truth. I don't know about our side. I mean, this is, and the problem with that is after you embarrass countries like Canada, people that have been our forever allies, when you need them, sometimes their phone is facing down. I just missed you, dog. I was watching Love is Blind. My phone, my ringer was off. You're going to laugh. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're not coming. And so now Trump is in this weird thing where Tori, he's got to be like, how do you play this? Because you have to be strong, but you also have to ask. So like, how do you, because they're both like kind of counterintuitive. Like, I don't need you, but could you please pick me up? Thank you. Like you can't juggle that.
No, it's like putting a kid in a wedgie and sticking them in their locker and then coming back an hour later and being like, hey, could you actually help me give me a ride home? Like, it's exactly what you're saying. Yeah. Like, the bullying has boundaries and the world is showing us they're not interested in being a part of this enormous mess. And can I be honest? It is a first for America to be on its own in a world in which our allies don't immediately jump to support us. It is a crazy moment in which they have their own independence and they are speaking up against the United States. And we are probably in one of the weakest positions we've ever been in. No backup.
Absolutely.
And no plan, no strategy. That's why you elect someone when you look at a ticket, someone on the ticket, like remember Obama? Obama was a senator with not a lot of foreign policy experience at all. So who does he pick? Joe Biden, who has extensive, as a VP, extensive foreign policy, right? You pick someone who knows what they're doing in that part of the world so that it's a balanced ticket and a balanced ballot. But this is Bam Bam and his dumb friends thinking that they could do this within a week and it's over. And we all knew it. We all said it. It's not like we didn't call this. But now we're seeing the results of it. And
yeah, I mean, and Tori, we've seen them. It's so interesting that you say that because they've tried a couple different ways to let people know that they needed people to come. Because remember last week when it was the shipping lanes, they first tried to pull the, what are you, a puss?
Yeah.
They were like, I forgot who was it, some guy that was at home in his air-conditioned Scottsdale beautiful mansion. He's like, the captains need to show some courage and go. I'm like, why don't you take your ass over there? So, at this point, they've been laying mines in the straits. And what Iran is doing is they're kind of playing countries against themselves because they're like, hey, right now, Germany, UK, China, France,
anybody,
we ain't got no beef with y'all.
Yeah,
we got some clearly, but we don't. So we can keep not having beef, and you guys feel free to let your stuff through. But if you partner up with the US, you're going to get some of the smoke. And Tori, I watched depressing documentaries about domestic terror attacks. That's almost all I watch. Anything you want to know about anyone that I can tell you. And it was crazy. I was looking at my Netflix queue, and you think about the Madrid bombings, the UK double-decker bus bombings. These are all results of attacks because these countries were helping the United States when we were waging war in the Middle East the last time. These wars are also super unpopular.
I was going
to following.
Can I just say that, Al, real quick? I wanted to jump on what you just said, which is so important. It's not only that they don't want to join, but they know that if, let's say, like that president of Denmark, I don't know if it's a prime minister or a president. I think it's a prime minister. I'm not sure. But one of them, let's say he's like, I don't want to join this because it's bad for like our country. They also know just how drastically unpopular what you just said is. And they know, like, if they want to run again, they've got to go hard against this bully. And so it's like part of their campaign strategy to literally break with the US. I mean, that's really where we are. That, like, in order to get voted and elected and be popular, you have to like back off and be like, you can't sit here. Can't sit here.
Yeah. Shout out to Forrest Gump. Yeah, it's if you think about how unpopular the war is over here, the thing I love about the colleagues is that we're all kind of news nerds at the end of the day, and we just are into this. But most Americans really aren't. No shade. That's just over in Europe. Those people, you go to Europe and ask them what's going on in the United States, and they'll be like, "Well, the Chamber of Commerce in Idaho had some interesting comments," and you're like, I know. Who's that? Like they know a lot
They
about
read
politics.
newspapers. They are
Right.
educated. Yeah.
Right. And so they are very like this is very unpopular over there, and it's unpopular here.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Carney's speech in Canada when he was like, "We are in fact not friendly always with the United States." It was like a Hugh Grant move from Love Actually when he like goes against Billy Bob Thornton, our American president, and everyone like stood up and like clapped. Like that's the kind of speech you need to like get your constituents behind you, because it's just you're fighting the bully. Like worldwide, they're all individually being like, I'm not being put down by this bully. And everyone's like, yay. We're all like,
Right.
oh, but we are.
Right. Yeah. And also, like, if you think about the strategy that Iran implemented early on, is they didn't just go after Israel. They were going after U.S. embassies. They were hitting places in Bahrain. They were hitting the Gulf state region, which I was surprised. I mean, we all saw what's happening in Dubai, places that like are so dependent on not only access to oil, but
like
tourism. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And like convincing rich people from around the world, come put your money here.
Yeah.
And
like, yeah. And it doesn't seem to have rhyme or reason, like blowing up hotels that are like really luxurious for what? Like if anyone can tell us why we're in this war, I would love to hear it. Really, it's because Israel wanted to start this war, and is what a lot of people think. I'm wondering if it's a nervous thing today. I can't figure out if I like my hair down or up. Is this fine? I'll just
leave it
here.
like that. That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay, don't touch it. Okay.
You like did a weird thing where it like looks great now. I don't know. And you're gonna mess with it now because your hand is shaking already. But yeah, it's you know, I think their strategy was, Tori, twofold. One is that they know that all these countries that we're talking about, whether it be Ukraine, whether it be Israel, whether it be the Gulf states, all these places, or our bases in Iraq, all that kind of stuff, those are all our weapons. And you only have so many missile defense systems to give to everybody.
Yeah.
And if you think about like having a handful of M&Ms, yeah, it's a lot. But after you have to hand them out to 30 people, Iran is like, how many more M&Ms you got left? Because we got a whole bunch of missiles, bro. And I think I was listening to somebody, and it was really interesting. They were saying that, you know, the Iran-Iraq war was, what was it, 8 years. It was a very, it forever changed both countries. Chemical weapons were used against each other. It was awful. But that war was 8 years. These countries are used to long, drawn out engagements. And if you think about it, Iran's faced sanctions since what, the late 70s?
Yeah,
they've been self-sufficient, almost like Cuba, for our adult lifetimes. So they've learned to be creative, and they've learned to make more with less. And they're used to things being not great a lot.
It's like Afghanistan. They learned how to fight in cave warfare, and no one can beat them. Napoleon couldn't do it. The Russians couldn't do it. The Americans couldn't do it, because we don't fight like that in that way. I also have to say, opening up the war with bombing the wrong place, and that wrong place happened to be a elementary school, killing all those children, was not a great way to start a war in which you put trust in that. Like the Allies have trust in you.
And then they lied about it.
And then they lied over and over again, and it's just a mess. And I don't know any European country or ally or any country that wants to join that mess and be like, I'm with this guy. Like it's not working.
It's a flat out war crime, and you know,
yeah, it is, and it absolutely is.
These older men, these men will be gone, but some of these people that are around, they're going to be around.
Yeah, they double tap.
They're going to have to answer for this.
Yeah,
for the rest of their lives.
Hegseth is like, you tomahawked a school twice within 40 minutes and killed, I think, like 147. You're going to have to answer to that.
I think closer to 160, 170. And it's like, which one is it? Do we have the most precise military tactics in the world that can hit a target in where we want? Or did we have an oopsie because the AI we used was old? So which one is it?
Well, apparently the map was outdated. Can you imagine?
Well, that's when you go to a second source. You don't just say, it's like, have you ever been to somebody's house? Like, if we're not sure if like, if this is ELC's house, you go like right before you knock, you go, are you sure? Because I don't want no dude come to this door, like even in a situation like that, you're just like,
You double check.
Before you fire a missile into a crowded city. So
Twice.
we are twice. And Tori, we don't have a lot of pictures to show. And that is because there's a pretty, I would say, pretty obvious media blackout, media suppression taking place both in Israel and here in the United States. I've spoken around this a bunch of times with Tori. I don't know if you've actually seen it listed. Have you seen this? Not that. Take a look at this.
You always show that picture.
I know. I'm trying to get it off. Let's do this one. There we go. All right. So, Tori, this is what our current media landscapes looks like. Why don't you run through it for us really quickly?
So PBS has been defunded. Joy Reid is out at MSNBC. Colbert's leaving CBS. Lester Holt is out at NBC. Let's just say a lot of Black journalists are out at NBC and MSNBC.
Including the one you're talking to.
Yeah, including you. You're right.
Don Lemon.
You're right, Don Lemon.
Jamil Hill.
Jim Acosta is out. Chuck Todd is out. John Dickerson, who I love, is out at CBS. And
look at the Washington Post. Not only those massive layoffs, Tori, they got rid of their international reporting team before we went to Iran. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that? And who is in charge of the Washington Post? Oh yeah, Bezos, who gave so much money to Trump and spent $42 million on Melania's documentary. That's $20 million more than any other distributor was willing to give.
Well spent.
Really good job. I love that they had Jimmy Kimmel reading the best up for documentary, because he's like, I think we know someone who's mad their wife's wasn't included in this.
Yes. And Tori, before we get to under reforms, this was put out by the Trump team. That's why these the little blurbs about them are so hyperbolic. So why don't you read what they're saying about 60 Minutes?
Where is 60 Minutes? I don't see it.
See that huge green line?
Yeah. You mean the record-setting interviews at 60 Minutes?
Yes.
Well, we also know that Anderson Cooper is out by himself because he took himself out of 60 Minutes. There's a lot of, let's just say, media that's going to be, if I'm right, going to be covered by one company and one company only, and that will be Nexstar. And if you guys didn't know that Nexstar, if it goes through within the next, I'm talking month, they will be in 80% of our households will be owned by one company, which is, in some people's opinions, a bit of state TV.
I don't think that we can say that that's an opinion. I think it is.
The cap of it is supposed to be 39% of one company can be in 39% of households, and this company Nexstar will be at 80% of the households. So that's called censorship, and to me, that's called running the media. And remember what Trump is really known for: his media presence and real estate. And so that's what he does: is he takes over the media and he tries to own the ballroom in the White House. I mean, that's sort of what we're doing here. But expect your news sources to not be coming from many different sources. It will be coming from one specific source that everyone's getting the same view on.
Right. And Tori, if you look at the news and what's going on, and don't just look at each one of these little blurbs as like, oh, save TikTok, that's interesting. Each one that you look at, like if you take the TikTok, save TikTok, that basically means they forced the Chinese owners or the Taiwanese owners of TikTok to sell. They then, of course, had to sell to Larry Ellison, who's a Trump supporter. And the reason that they wanted TikTok out of there is they saw how not only left and progressive it was, how young it was, but also a lot of images from Gaza leaked on TikTok. And they were like, note to self. If you look at with X, remember people used to make fun of Elon Musk on there. And this is when he was in the full throes of allegedly cocaine and ketamine addiction. And he was like, well, I'm just going to buy the whole thing. Yeah. We call that a good summer. And now X is gone. All of these things, with the Jimmy Kimmel thing, they were threatening, like, if you don't act right, we're going to pull your license. And they did that. They at least attempted to with Jimmy Kimmel. the $15 million ABC settlement was how companies learned that they could bribe the president with that BS settlement, which wasn't even like there was nothing to even settle for. And Tori, we're looking at a new landscape where, I mean, if it's not YouTube, where are you going?
Well, guess what Netflix just did? So Netflix just bought a gazillion podcasts. And they are some of them over 3 hours long, because that is the new way that people are getting their news, from independent sources and from niche podcasts, extremely niche podcasts. They are getting the attention and they are now delivering the news, which is, I'd love Al and I to be the ones you get your news from. But to be honest, you sort of want an FCC or, some kind of agency making sure that it's done correctly. But no, in this new generation, the way that we get news is either Instagram, headlines, TikTok kind of, and podcasts. And you go to your podcast person. So you're hitting the echo point and the echo chamber over and over and over again. So we're getting more and more polarized. Some of these facts aren't correct that you're hearing. So it's a shaky way, but Netflix is seeing the writing on the wall and just bought an enormous amount. Don't know TikTok very well. I just couldn't handle like another way to compare myself to other people. So I just didn't. But the podcast, the Netflix buy was a big, big deal in how we see people getting their news from this point on.
Yeah, I mean it's and speaking of, like, there's an incident that ties when you look at the equal time on broadcast television, that was the Jasmine Crockett James
Tallarico,
when they didn't want to air them, and they were like, oh, you have to put Jasmine Crockett on, just because they didn't want Tallarico on there. And obviously CBS, now run by Barry Weiss, whose previous job was she had a podcast, and now she runs CBS. And she's spiking stories on CCOT. I mean, you can just see where all of these things, it's Tori, what are we looking at? Do you remember when people would call us hyperbolic years ago, when these things were starting to trickle out?
Yes. And I do want to just say that this is also, when I tell you about the playbook, remember, I'm always saying we could have written this all the way back from Machiavellian times of how to be a dictator and an authoritarian, is you take control of the media. So like, if you had listened to anyone, they would have said they're going to discredit scientists, which they have. They're going to discredit the media, which you see right now on your screen, and they're going to discredit the comics. So censorship is a large part of how they funnel in one state TV to exactly what they want you to see. And that's an Orwellian way of speaking. Now, a lot of you guys are writing in, KUSA is great. Kyle Clark is amazing. I work with at 9 News. I totally understand that. WLOS, ABC 13, you're saying is amazing. But just wait, because those stations are getting bought out.
Right.
And you won't have those bastions of the freedom of the press, which also happens to be in the First Amendment.
Right. And speaking of freedom of the press, Tori, did you see that not only because we're talking about a lot of left-leaning voices that are being threatened and forced out, did you see that the CIA is threatening Tucker Carlson with basically what accounts to treason?
No.
They are threatening Tucker Carlson. This is a real thing. I saw it on Breaking Points today with Crystal Ball, who I really like. And basically the CIA, it's clear, has been reading his texts and has been just, investigating him as a foreign agent of Iran. And basically they're threatening criminality towards him, threatening him with some jail time. But Tori, I really do think it circles back to the conversation we had last Thursday. I don't think that they would care about anybody on YouTube unless they were worried about that person on YouTube possibly becoming a contender to be the next president. Tucker has their base, and he's got the part of the base that is the majority of the base right now. That's still old school racist MAGA, but I don't want to go to war MAGA. I want to go to war MAGAs. Right. They're on the outs with the base, but they're in with the big guy. But they're not popular.
I don't agree with you on this one. I just don't agree with you because I don't think Tucker Carlson has any political ambitions. First of all, he's a dweeb. And it's hard to elect a dweeb after everyone had daddy issues and pick the big, strong orange man. I also
Have
just
you seen JD Vance?
Yeah, but that's because he wants to look stronger. He look maxed. Is that how I say it?
Yeah,
He
looks maxed.
JD Vance. I just don't think he's.
I saw on the internet somebody said JD Vance got yassified. That's smoky eye. You got that smoky eyeshadow, baby.
That eyeliner, man. I do have to say that there has been many rumors of Tucker Carlson having a direct line to Putin and Russian ties as well as Iranian ties. And there's always been thoughts about him as some kind of agent. But I don't think he wants to run in the first place. And I also don't think he is electable because of how sort of dorky he is. I just, after the kind of character cult of personality we got with Trump, I don't think he can win with the young people. I don't think it's Brew, that's your Kong. Someone just found the Kong. Wouldn't it be great if the news reported daily, Tucker can run, but he wouldn't win. He's too weird and in Russia's pocket.
Couldn't you say that about Trump? I mean, Trump was clearly,
but Trump has charisma in a way.
Yeah, I would just say that you always have the pendulum, like you talk about.
Yeah,
and MAGA fell for the charisma and the showbiz, the used car salesman. Rosie O'Donnell's fat, and they fell for it. And now gas is $7, and their son is getting ready to go off to war. Maybe they're just like, you kind of come back to just like, maybe I just miss a good old fashioned Republican dog whistle. You don't have to say I hate the blacks. Just call them filthy urban city centers. Like, maybe it's like a little chef's kiss to just a little misogyny. Oh, Tori, I'm glad you could make it. Do I smell food burning? Just that. I don't have to call you. I don't have to insult your weight. Just like something old school, terrible.
Old school.
97.
The Jews in their brain.
Yeah.
I counter your Tucker every time with a Marco Rubio run. And I think that he would make a tougher candidate than Tucker Carlson.
Wait, what did you say? You broke up.
I said, I'm countering your Tucker Carlson run with a Marco Rubio run. I think he makes a much stronger candidate.
Damn it. I wanted to hit you with a picture. And it was... That's why I asked you to repeat it, because I was going to drop Tori. I want you to say what you just said again.
I think even this picture, I know it's not good.
Tori, he runs, and he's swimming in a pool of air quotes masculine men. This picture, it's why Ted Cruz is now unelectable, because even those dudes are like, you let him talk about your wife like that, dog?
No,
like no. There is no Southern man that's MAGA gonna vote for a person whose nickname is Little Marco. The nickname is backed up by Tiny Boots, and he's Hispanic. MAGA gonna get behind that.
Excuse me, a lot of Latinos and Latinas voted MAGA. In an enormous amount of Latino and Latinas voted MAGA this past run with Trump. I think Rubio acts tougher and can have more charisma, and also seems more moderate than the craziness that Trump came with. Ted Cruz has his Cancun runaway. He was made fun of his wife, doesn't have the sort of chutzpah that you need. And I think Rubio's the best shot that the Republicans have here. I really, really do.
Also, both of the people we're talking about, Tori, were pro-Iranian war. Remember Ted Cruz when Tucker dismantled him in that interview?
Yes, I do.
Ted Cruz didn't know how many people were not Iran.
I think Ted Cruz looks and sounds like a weak moron. Whereas, and I know some people would say that about Marco Rubio, but he's put in a high position. I think he is showing himself to separate himself from the MAGA. And I think, look, I don't like anything about Marco Rubio. I just think he's by far their strongest candidate that they have.
All right, well, let's get to this last thing. And the way that we're going to get to it is we are going to move on. All right, Tori, we are moving on. Thanks to Spider moving, and storage. Spider, I don't know where we would be without you, but we wouldn't be anywhere good. Tori, hit everybody with that number, please.
720-545-3187.
That's right, girl. All right, now we are going to have a little chit chat about this kind of breaking news as of today, or at least it's breaking because I saw it today, and that's all that counts. I think the sun shifted, and now I'm getting a weird shade on my face. Oh, no, that's worse.
Hi, Sarah. Good to see you guys. Julie, I think she says Marco will probably blow it beforehand. I think he's being extremely careful.
You cannot convince me that the MAGA faithful are going to elect a Hispanic
First of all, MAGA
person.
faithful are not the constituents you need anymore. They're not the majority. They can't win you an election. You're looking at a much more moderate Republican base that does not want this craziness. So Marco Rubio represents that. He can form a sentence.
But he's all in on this war. That's the killer. That's worse in their eyes than him being a person of color.
He's also Secretary of State, so he can say I was following orders. I mean, there's always an out with that. I mean, that's an enormous way out from this situation. So honestly, I think it's Rubio, but I'm not going to convince you. I hear you.
I mean, I hope you're right because he will get destroyed. All right, Tori, did you hear that Topher Noel, who was the prison guard when Jeffrey Epstein took his own life, allegedly, took his own day? Look, all we know is what we saw, except for the minute we didn't see. You guys are ridiculous. So, Tori, what do you think is going to happen with this? Because when I first heard this story, that he had taken his own life, please air quote that again, that I was like, oh, they're going to blame this on the black security guards. I was like, this is easy peasy, but then they didn't. And now it seems like they were like, oh yeah, we could have just said it was this black woman. We were so busy because I mean, this had like Patsy scapegoat written all over it. We gave Jeffrey to our best place, and they were playing dominoes and listening to rap music, and they let him kill himself. It's so, Tori, do you think anything will come of this?
I'll tell you one thing. I don't think people are letting it go. I don't.
Right.
I think people thought that him killing himself would be enough and they'd move on. But not only are the American people just like absolutely not satisfied with where he is he alive even? Is he dead? Certainly, in my opinion, a lot of questions about him killing himself. They also aren't done finding out more about the Epstein files. And I think the Democrats are en route to win both houses. So they will win the House and they will win the Senate. And then there's a lot more control over how we get to see more Epstein files. So I 100% believe this won't die and will go into generations of looking into the Epstein files. I think,
if you thought the JFK assassination had some stands,
we are not letting this go. No, this is alleged child rape, child torture, child cannibalism, satanic rituals. They're looking at bodies in certain ranches. This is stuff you would never even have thought about that is coming out. And when Carolyn Levitt said that great thing, we are moving on, and the just American people were like, honey, we ain't moving on. We're not moving on from this.
Yes. No matter how much you try and mean pageant girl us into moving on, we're not doing it.
She bothers me so much.
I've never been so repulsed by somebody's tone. Her tone, she's got just this like, so the president said we didn't have any involvement. So that's where it's like. And
that's how we ended. Okay. Moving on. It's just so gross. It's one of the most, it's like, but the Dow, like this is, again, like one of the most, probably the most notorious, infamous stories in all presidential history. And they think
it's of our lifetimes. And I don't think there's a close second. I don't think there's a close second.
You think Monica Lewinsky was bad and we're going to just move on? No.
I would argue this is by far and away the biggest story of our lifetimes. What's the second biggest?
JFK. Exactly.
I would argue George Floyd's shooting and just the worldwide massive, but that was kind of an apex of a number of incidents that had happened.
Yeah.
Tori, when we start to unpack, there will be college courses,
Oh, yeah.
multiple, because we're talking about him as an SA trafficker of young girls.
Yeah.
We're not talking about his impact on the world of art, his impact on the world of economics, his impact on the world of missing children, his impact everywhere. He had an office at Harvard.
I know. Larry Summers was at Harvard and he was part of the ring. I mean, these are icons of the industry.
I think one of the co-owners of the New York Giants is going to step down soon. Yeah,
Steve he's like quietly going backwards and his kids are quietly stepping forward. But you know, other countries have arrested people, Al. We haven't even questioned them. And I bring that up again and again and again.
No, Tori, we've questioned Tova Noel.
It's always the women. It's always about the men that have been doing this.
I forgot all about that.
Get in trouble. Ghislaine Maxwell will be testifying. It's never the men. It's just always the women. And it's so
I mean, it's going to be Ghislaine and Tova and one's Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, you know, for insider trading. None of y'all.
Yeah.
None of y'all.
You know, and Hillary goes, I just spent hours talking about what other men have had to do, not about me. And it's like, you might not like Hillary, but like, she is not in the Epstein files in that way. And it's like, why are we picking her and not a co-conspirator like Les Wexner? Like, why are we, it makes no sense, but Pam Bondi is getting subpoenaed for the way that she handled the Epstein files. And you're going to see more of that. You're going to be held accountable at some point.
Yeah, I think Kristi Noem's going to have to come on back from the tropics of the Americas and have a little sit down as well.
What is she in the Shields of America?
She's the envoy to the Shield. When I heard envoy, I was like, all right, stop it.
It's like an attaché. Like, you made that up. Like, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing. Yeah, Julia, it is the women and the blacks. It's always that.
Yeah.
And it's just constantly no white men ever being active about it.
Yeah. You know, I say it all the time. Where's the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's he at? Look up what he did, colleagues.
I mean,
it's so corrupt that I'm not gonna continue to say this, but we're going to have to completely reconstruct or assemble something new, because whatever we at least lied to ourselves about the idea of having a legal structure is over.
Yeah,
it's a joke. And yes, people will still go to jail, but when the people do not believe in the system that they're living under, the people will revolt. And right now it's clear that this is why, even when you don't want to send a white guy to jail, you got to pick one. What's up, Lee Harvey Oswald? Why don't you come on over here? And he's like, I'm a patsy. They're like, shh. You know, and like, what's up, you got to get Ruby? One dude. Yeah, Jack Ruby. You know, just like this one guy, James Earl Ray, who shot MLK, this hobo that was like on a train, is now able to like use a long
sniper.
Stop it.
I know.
It's ridiculous. And so like, I think the people are too educated. We talk like this every day. We all are our own little nerds and finding stuff and bringing it back to the group. You can't put the wool over people's eyes like you used to. So we'll see.
No, there's too many sleuths. And you know, Iran, there's still the rumor, Al, that Iran has photos and videos from Epstein about Trump. Again, all alleged, that they're willing to put out that would get him to have to resign. Now, we haven't seen that, but at some point, anonymous hacking or some kind of hacking, internet sleuths are going to find things that I guess he could call AI, but that are going to make it much more uncomfortable for him to have to defend himself.
Right. And his followers to have to defend him. Even though I will say this, shout out to the MAGA faithful. They took that Epstein documentary, turned the other cheek and said, thank you, I'll have another. It didn't really throw him off that much. I mean,
and you thought they wanted pro-life, you know, you thought they were there for the children.
No, they wanted that. They wanted the Epstein files and they got him and they were like, he's in there. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
What's up with the NFL rule that you can, you know, what's up with halftime? They just moved on. They spent a decade on this. Half of them got divorced. Their daughters don't talk to them, and they're just like, they get what they want. They find out they're right, but it's not the people they want, and they just dropped it
so quickly.
Just dropped it like a.
There's a pedophile ring in DC. Yes, you're right. It's Republicans. What?
Yeah.
What?
When is Kid Rock's alternative halftime option starting?
By the way, I shouldn't say all Republicans because I want to not count out like the Clinton, Bill Gates. Like, I don't want to, I'm not trying to be like, it's all Republicans. But when you find out that it was a ring, a huge ring, and that it wasn't your famous, your favorite people are in that ring, they're just like, well, let's move on. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, I think you said it like that because Democrats don't care. Oh, this dog. All right, Tori, I could go on about Epstein forever. And some point I will. So until then, Tori, just stay right there. It's a great shot. We have roughly 10 more seconds.
I'm sorry.
I love you so much.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Brew.
I like that they say the MAGA people in my family are disgusted by Trump and Epstein and all of this tearing down of our government. That makes me have hope. That makes me have hope.
What's the next step is, and I would really like Shelley to ask them because I think they would give her a non-adversarial answer. I think that like people look at me like, oh, Al's a Democrat. First of all, I'm like disgusted by all of this.
Yeah.
I know you guys all take money and you're all gross. We don't have fans like that. I am really motivated by my curiosity about how human beings navigate through the world and navigate through our own set of morals in which we all have different ones. Shelley, so I'll just say this, as Tori is annoying me so much. Stop. What? Oh, by the way, I will say this. Tori got one of her bags chewed. Did Brew chew your bag yesterday?
Yeah, my Prada bag got eaten and he just ate my Kong.
What is that?
Kong, like peanut butter.
Oh, I didn't know what that. I thought that was like
he ate stuff that you no, Brew.
I will say this, Shelley, if you get a chance, ask your family, because I'm just curious, like now that they know that this is clearly going on, how will that affect, if at all, their choices moving forward and how they will support Trump? I'm just genuinely curious. So yeah, we got an insider here.
Right. And would they support Rubio? I would really like to have that.
Yes. Thank you. All right, that's good. And Tori, we're gonna leave you. You were frozen. I want to leave you just like that. Tori, we appreciate you not only jumping on the podcast, messing with your hair, and giving us a great show as always. We want to send Michael Dean some birthday love. Colleagues, we appreciate y'all so much. Make sure to tell a friend, please, because as we see, these these outlets are going away, and we need to have our own pirate ship out here in case I can't finish that metaphor because I'm too dumb.
What the hell?
In case the sea gets too choppy. Sorry.
Oh my God. Pirate radio.
So yes, please like, support, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until tomorrow, colleagues, coworkers, we out.